Welcome home, Raiders. This week, we get some more answers on Mythic rating direct from the source. Plus, more on Garrisons, armor changes, and what the heck is happening on the PTR. This is Convert to Raid number 120.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the World of Warcraft.
Home, Raiders, and from the Convert to Raid Command Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, today is November 24th, 2013, and it is now 11:18 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks again for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land, and hello, my name is Pat Krane, your host of the show. I'm also called Zug around Airy Peak, US, and I'm still raiding. Of course I'm still raiding. Got the Resto Druid, as always, and the players are here as well. From beautiful Beantown, soon to be from serene Seattle, it's Dairies.
That video intro was awesome. I want to be on that show. How do I get on that show?
You are on that show.
Oh, that was so cool. I'm sorry to all the people that have to listen to this audio only, but that was really cool.
Well, they can always jump over to Gamebreaker TV and check it out.
Oh,
so.
That was really good.
How you doing?
Yes, I will be, this Thursday, I will be a permanent resident of Seattle, Washington.
That's awesome.
Whoa, that's getting kind of scary.
A little close.
Yeah, it's happening real fast. Fast.
All right, well let's let you concentrate on your move, and let's move over to the Raging Mage, or is it the Funky Monk? It's Koltrane, either way.
I got an old classic fortune cookie again. I think it's the holidays. It's time for the old classics.
Yeah.
So here we go.
All right.
Fortune cookies say,
oh boy.
If Bob Marley played World of Warcraft, he'd be a dreadlock. Because the hair is like a,
seriously,
it's like a dreadlock.
I need a cricket button.
It's not a warlock.
I need a cricket button.
You think if I move, they'll get better? Is that
dreadlock?
Maybe
not a warlock.
Yeah.
This is
no.
hair.
I got it. I got it. Hi, fellas.
10 out of 10 bongos in the chat room.
Maybe when I finally live on the West Coast, I will understand. Maybe it's just West Coast humor, and I'm not getting it. I don't know.
Well, you will. As soon as you get over here, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I don't know.
West Coast humor.
Let me try this. Xbox, mute Koltrane. Didn't work.
Oh yeah, you got your X-Bone.
Yeah, I got my Xbox One, and I can tell it to do everything else, but apparently bad jokes still come.
That's right. Well, that was sent in from Spencer HD from Airy Peak.
I know that guy. We know that guy.
Spencer HD.
Spencer, I'm so disappointed. All right. Well, hi. Welcome to the show, everybody, and welcome, fellas. Always good to have you around. And maybe we should chat about what's been going on this week. Lots of things, actually, have been going on. But specifically to you guys, what's been going on? Maybe Darius, start with you.
I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I'm moving.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of that. But the strange thing is, and this is awkward, is that, or it's always awkward when this happens, we have movers coming and they're packing the house for me, and they're coming tomorrow. And there's not a single box packed in this house.
Uh-oh.
And it's always awkward when they come because there's 4 people in your house packing all your stuff for you, and you just have to stand there and watch and be like, well, can I help? And they're like, no, we can't let you do that. And you just stand there and eat pizza and watch them do all the hard work.
Yeah.
Are you like getting out your like silky undies for them?
Oh, yeah.
Like, are they going to pack like your underwear drawer? And you're like, ooh, I'm going to put out my leopard skin print.
Right.
And watch their face as they pack that.
Right.
Yep. I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to play my Xbox the entire day while they're packing. Sorry, can you pack this last, guys? I'm real busy.
Right. Back out my silky undies.
Whoa. Hey,
silky
look out.
Smooth.
That's right.
But as far as WoW's going, still raiding. We're working on Heroic Thok. We got, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but we got Heroic Spoils. I might have mentioned it.
Yeah.
But still.
And by the way,
woo!
Yeah, I have a lot of buttons to push right now, and it's crazy how many buttons I'm pushing.
Just hit them all.
I know, it's crazy. I was thinking about Fang Domo Wok Fu the other day.
Oh no, how dare you!
Wok Fu! Yeah!
Yeah! That's the other one. Oh, this one. Oh, man, I don't know.
This show is just going to be sounders in like a month. That's it.
I should have done them all at the same time, but there's so many buttons.
That's right. You did good, though.
I had to take some time.
I tried to get you, but you got me. Well done.
This is my bit, okay?
Yeah.
You wait your turn.
Oh, all right. Well, then let's just push it to Koltrane.
My old Koltrane. I'm sorry, Darius. Well, congrats. You're moving actually on Thanksgiving, which is an odd day to move. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
It's a little anti-American.
I'm moving to Seattle, which is pretty much Canada, so.
Right. Right. So you should be all right.
Right. Colt, what's been going on with you this week?
Well, old Koltrane's been messing around with that new mount.
Oh yeah, yeah.
New charity mount.
The Fey Dragon mount or whatever.
Fey Dragon. You seen this thing?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I did too.
I got it.
And it changes color.
That's why I got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it also
stepped it up.
It was like a bundle, for like, I think it was like $30, and then half of that goes to is it Make-A-Wish?
No. That's the misconception. The money for the dragon does not go to charity. Only the dog money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the dog money.
The dog money.
That goes to the dog money.
Yeah, the dragon is just pure profit and awesome, but
it is awesome. But I'll tell you, the dog, it like serves booze. I don't know if you knew this.
And that's not a bad thing. That's never a bad thing.
No, it
I mean, drink responsibly and all that stuff, kids. But
it added some spritz to my kibbles and bits.
Well, boo.
What I'm saying.
Boo.
It added a little hey now to my puppy chow. You know what I'm saying? It got me in the mood for some dog food. That's really bad. Well, look, when he lifted his leg, I filled the keg.
No.
All right.
I like that one. That's the one that I like. It's $5 from the dog from the Alterac Brew Pub pup. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, right.
$5 from that goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, I believe. Out of the $10, and if you get it in the bundle, then all that money goes to that $5 from the pup goes to charity, which is why I got it.
and that's an awesome charity. Make-A-Wish Foundation is awesome charity. I don't know if you guys saw last week where they shut down parts of San Francisco so a kid could play Batman. I don't know if you guys read about that. Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I heard about that. Yeah, that was cool.
They had a guy actually play Batman, and the kid dressed up as Batman. They had villains. They had sports cars, all this crazy stuff. Thousands of people showed up so this kid could live out his fantasy. It's awesome. such a cool organization.
That's great, man.
That's awesome. And also this week, it is WoW's 9th birthday. Their anniversary. Woo! So, hey, big congratulations to everybody over at Blizzard for making a game that could actually last more than 2 years.
Right. Right. And I gotta tell you, what's kind of weird for me is I'm a veteran MMO guy. Like I started in the days of Ultima Online, then EverQuest, and then Star Wars Galaxy. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
But this is the first MMO that I've played since Alpha. I was in the Alpha of World of Warcraft and have played consistently up until this day. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
for one game for 9 years, that's outrageous.
Maybe
it's not outrageous. It's unheard of.
Yeah, maybe you need some variety there, pal.
Maybe I should really rethink my life here. I mean, my goodness gracious.
Right.
I mean, 9 years.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't even think I was shaving when I first started, and now I can't stop. You know what I'm saying?
What?
But that's impressive, though. 9 years. That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
shocking.
No, it is. It's really inappropriate. But 9 years is actually, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty impressive, man. So, and you got the nice little tabard thing. You get the XP boost and the rep boost. Just kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah. 9% XP boost, 9% rep. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So congrats to WoW, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anything else going on this week? I don't think so. I mean, how do we do asparagus initiative-wise, Dairies?
Oh.
I won't play the sounder.
Man. I don't remember. That was so long ago. It was last week.
I know. It was last week.
We ended up clearing, I think, to Sock, maybe?
We went through... Yeah, no, we went past Siege Master, didn't we? Yeah, we went past Siege Master.
Siege Crafter? Yeah.
Siege Crafter.
See, I don't remember. All these days rolled together and so long ago, but yeah. I think we cleared up to there, and I think the plan was to extend this week and kill Gary tonight.
Gary.
Gary. We finally got Gary in our sights.
Oh,
He's the
I'm not
worst.
talking about Gary Gannon.
Oh, Gannon. You don't want to go after the old GG.
No,
He'll
we're
get
not going to
you.
do that. We're not going to do that.
He'll get you.
We'll get Garrosh instead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
good luck, boys.
You guys
Thanks,
probably
buddy.
will. I will likely not be there, as I will be probably sitting in the corner full of my own tears as I've completely broken down.
Right.
All right. Well,
So it's pretty much a guaranteed kill then. Then it's going to be a kill.
Good luck with that.
Well, and Sharku said he's probably not going to be there, so you guys are going to be no tanking Garage.
Yay!
Real easy.
So no problem. I heard that Solarflare is going to come in and with his pally and help tank. So that's
he offered to help out there. So
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, good.
All right. Well, we should probably get on with the show part of the show. But first of all, since it is Thanksgiving week, in game right now is Pilgrims Bounty, right?
Yes.
And so I thought we'd play some classic bits from the years past for all of our Pilgrims Bounty bits. And unfortunately, we kind of date ourselves a little bit here because, Colt, we used to play Horde.
Yes, exactly.
Remember that? Remember those days?
Back in the day.
Yeah, you were I think a blood elf at the time.
What?
You were playing a blood elf at the time.
You're right. I was, and I was handsome.
And I was
a handsome blood elf.
And I was playing an orc.
That's right.
Named Zug. And now I'm playing a werewolf named Zug. It doesn't really work, but that's all right.
Right.
So let's play down this classic bit from Pilgrim's Bounty long ago. Here we go.
Zug.
Yeah, what's up?
I have our next quest. We must go to Ironforge.
Well, that was a little over the top, wasn't it?
I don't know, I'm in a weird mood. Let's fly.
So we just have to sit down at a table? That's it?
That's right, but be ready to move. These alliances can be vicious.
Really? Well, now you're kind of making me a little bit nervous.
You should be. I've seen a human male kill an orc with his mustache at 200 yards.
The porn stash?
Or a gnome bite the ankles of a troll without him even knowing it.
Ouch.
With a guy like you, Zug, it'll be a massacre.
A guy like me? Come on, what?
Now here.
What's this?
Disguises for the next task.
This is a dress.
Look, they were out of guy clothes.
Wait. What are you wearing?
Yeah, I really lucked out on this one. I got the last one of the pilgrim pants. Not stinkified.
Wait, hold on a sec. So you get the pilgrim pants, and I am stuck with...
Quit being a baby, Zug. You look pretty-ish.
Oh, boy.
Let's go. I am Koltrane. Surrender, or I will use my asparagus cooldown.
And I am Zug. If you even... What? Why are they laughing?
No clue.
But I thought you said I looked pretty.
I said pretty-ish. Not like full-on pretty. No, you're actually quite weird-looking.
Can I get my regular clothes back, please? I am not comfortable.
Kind of like a combo of Jaina Prodmore and Garrosh Hellscream's colon.
Coltrane, you're kind of creeping me out right now. Just stop it. Let's go back to Orgrimmar.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
Random silliness. Gotta love it.
Wow, go Gary's colon. We got a little colon in there. That's good.
Oh boy. All right.
Wow.
Well, let's check out what's happening with rating news around World of Warcraft. And first up, we have a video that came out this week from the devs. Morgan Webb. We've seen her before. She chatted with Ian Hazzikostas, Tom Chilton, and Chris Robinson in a post-BlizzCon interview about, well, it's kind of about everything. They showed the undead female model.
Woo!
Looking good, right?
Looking very good.
Looking too good.
Settle down.
Whoa.
Moving on.
But they also talked about the upcoming story. They talked more about the world of Draenor or Draenor. I'm still not sure exactly. They pronounce it both ways, so I don't know.
Just call it Warlords.
Warlords. Yeah, there we go.
Good, yeah.
WAD.
Yeah, bitter and salty, we're calling it Warlords.
Call
Just
it
go with
WAD.
Warlord.
Call it WAD. There we go. Also, they talked about the new character models and so much more. So, but one thing that they talked about a lot was about Mythic rating, right? And about why they set it to 20 players. Dairies, what's going on? What happened in this video?
I mean, this is kind of what we were expecting. They talked about how they were thinking of doing a 15-man raid, but they were already making 10-man players to grow and 25 mans to shrink, and 20 meant that there was a really good chance that you were going to have one of every class in there. 10-man, you don't have that. 25 you do, but 15 you might not. You might have like 2 priests or 3 priests and then no rogue or something like that. So 20 was a good number. It also is going to allow them to have much more complex mechanics and singular responsibility.
Yeah, it was kind of like they wanted to make sure that everybody had like one of every class coming along. And when you have 11 classes, it's kind of tough to say, yeah, with 15, it's going to happen.
Right.
So
I love this, man. They can add these mechanics. They can add something that you need to spell steal because most likely they're going to have a mage. So they can add more complexity and more cool stuff to these raid encounters. So I dig it, man. I dig it.
Right on.
I think it's a bit of a stretch to assume that mages are going to have any role whatsoever.
Yeah.
So let's not assume here.
Well, they are the best class in the game. So, I mean, come on. So if they're not brought, it's because they're too powerful and they want these, raids to be at least.
Right.
So I get it. Look, I get it. I don't know about you. I get it.
All right. So now, what do you guys? I don't know if we necessarily talked about like the deeper implications of Mythic rating, of this 20-man rating system, and with flex being between 10 and 25, and I think we kind of briefly touched on that. But what do you guys think about 20-man rating as being like the only way to go? Now there's no choice. You don't have a 10 and 25 option. You just have 20-man. What do you guys think about the 20-man option as it relates to you or as it relates to other raiders that you know? And maybe Darius, will start with you again.
I like it. I like that it gets rid of this 10 and 25 man debate. It allows them to do a whole lot more. But personally, for me and my raid team, it means that we got to drop a few people. But it's with almost every raid group, unless you're Paragons or Method or Paragon or something like that, you're probably carrying a few people. So this will help you get rid of a couple of people, maybe hand them off to some of those 10 mans that need people. But I think it's a great decision. Like I said last week, it creates a few short-term problems, but it solves so many long-term problems. And this is something they've needed for a long, long time.
Sure. Colt, how about you?
Well, I would say, though, too, in regards to a 25 team, usually like on a hardcore 25-man team, you've got like 30 people, usually. You know what I mean? So in case you can sub in and out if somebody doesn't show up or you need different classes. So in a weird way, I wonder, now I'm not a hardcore raider, but you can still have your 25. Just now it's just 20. So you've still got that 5 extra, maybe to sub in. So yeah, if you were going from 30 now to 25. So you might have to cut some people, but in a way, I wonder if those people are just now kind of, they're subs. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think at the top levels, it's not quite as bad because, essentially you'll still have your bench, except your bench is going to be, you're probably going to have to trim that back a little bit so that you just have your 25 mains, but now you have to pick 5 guys to sit on that bench when you're going to Mythic. But you can still raid with them for heroics and normal stuff. I mean, when you're doing gear runs and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the separate lockouts of heroic and mythic are big too. Because if there are a lot of people that, they might just want that slightly lower level of play, or they're, friends of the guild or something like that, or friends of guild members, you can take them on that kind of stuff and not be locked to your normal run.
Right.
Which is really good.
Right.
And I wonder too, at that high end too, aren't they a little bit, I don't know if it's as much now as it used to be, but class stacking a little bit? Like, we're going to have 6 or 7 rogues this time and, versus this or that. Is that still going on in that really high end of rating, or not as much now?
It's a little bit. I mean, we're seeing warlocks now being stacked over mages because people are finally coming around on that.
What? Outrageous.
Right. Right.
As I think it was Ghostcrawler tweeted this week, he said we misspelled the name of the next expansion. It's actually Warlocks of Draenor, not Warlords.
He's come around. He's come around.
Wow.
Oh man.
I mean, it still happens, but they've done a lot to mitigate the class stacking and stuff like that. And I think they're gonna do a lot more of it in the next expansion. So
yeah. Right. Well, I'll tell you, as far as to the normal and heroic now being flex. I was logged on late at night, and I got a couple of whispers. They're saying, hey, man, we're short a DPS. We've got 9. We need a 10. Can you come join us? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's an interesting thing that the way it is now, if one guy doesn't show up, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Right. But this way, it modifies. You can add and subtract more people or less people, and that's a great thing. So for me, because I got a crazy work schedule. I don't have as much time as I'd like to devote. Being able to do normal and heroic level rating. Now, granted, yes, we're saying heroic is like the old normal and normal is like the old flex. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But having that, add and subtract factor is great. Like, for example, Asparagus Initiative. I can't raid that one night as much because of my schedule, but there's some nights when I don't have to work and I'm available.
Yeah.
And now I can just pop on in and be like, hey guys, looking to wipe? Let me join you. Woo! And we'll be good to go. And you're going to want that.
Let me throw out buffs because I got everything in the wrong. I got all my keybinds screwed up.
Look, I switched specs, all right? I switched specs, and the hotbars got all messed up. I'm trying to do Rushing Jade Wind, and I'm buffing the raid. Anyway, but I think it's a great thing. It adds a lot of flexibility to everybody at that normal and heroic level.
Yeah.
And, with this too, this can also help with recruitment, getting up to that 20 that maybe your 10-man only has 10 right now. You can use this flex to help recruit so you can get up to 20-man mythic.
Yeah. The thing that kind of disturbs me just a little bit are those like 10-man normal teams that dip into heroics, It's kind of like you're saying, I get it. It's 10 to 25 flex, and most likely, if you're going to try to maximize that as much as possible for loot drops or whatever, because you'll still be able to trade loot and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that there will be core teams, and then they'll bring in other people to try to, I don't know, work the loot system somehow. It's going to happen. But it's just kind of like one of those things where if you have a solid 10-man normal that dips into heroics by the end of the patch, whatever it is.
Right.
Those guys are kind of in a tough spot because they have to recruit 10 more people and figure that whole thing out. I mean, the good thing is they'll still be able to raid with no matter how many people they have as they're recruiting.
Right.
But it's kind of tough. I don't know how I feel about Mythic quite yet. It's kind of weird.
Well, it's funny because you're kind of like in that middle. Like, I'm much more of a casual type player due to schedule.
Right.
Darius is much more of a heroic, hardcore level of play. And you're kind of right in the middle there where you're like casually hardcore. You know what I mean? So you're like in a weird spot.
Yeah, it doesn't quite sit right with me. I mean, I think it'll be okay once we get into it. But it just right now, I'm just kind of hesitant to say, oh, I really like this.
I think it's going to require a lot of guilds to come to terms with what they are. They're going to have to really sit down and say, are we a 10-man normal heroic raid team, or are we a team that's going to do mythic and be serious about it? They can't say we're a 20-man that's going to do mythic, but then get to mythic right before another expansion hits or another patch hits.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people are kind of looking at and trying to be realistic about what their approach is going to be. And especially and I know that connected realms are still being developed and they're still doing that. So if you're on a realm that isn't quite connected yet with other realms,
right,
wait for it. It's coming. They've been throwing connected realms around quite a bit lately. Even in the EU, they're finally starting to gear up that way as well. So that's good to see. But considering it is cross realm and all that kind of fun stuff, it should be okay. I'm just kind of reserving.
Yeah, I mean, it is easier with cross realm on day one. Is amazing.
Yeah.
So it is going to be easier to be able to group with friends or to be able to get more people into your raids on a regular basis. You know, it's not going to require any kind of crazy server training.
Filling 10 slots should be really easy when this hits. It'll still be that finding 20 consistent people for Mythic. That'll be hard.
Yep.
But,
Yep. We also got some clarifications on garrisons, and I'm gonna just keep on moving along because I know that we've got a lot of stuff to talk about this show.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, what do we know about garrisons right now? I mean, Darius, it's individual housing, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't have a sounder for garrisons as well. We have a sounder for everything else.
Garrisons! Done. Boop. Chalk it up.
Right.
Done.
Right. We're done.
So, right now it's individual player housing, and Tom Chilton said that it's going to stay that way for the foreseeable future. He said that they fear that if they make guild housings, then GMs would get all the enjoyment and benefits out of it, while guild members don't really get anything out of it other than a place to hang out.
Sure. Well, and what else do you need? You need a place to hang out, man.
Well, what would those benefits be? Meaning if you have a guild garrison, you get more money. Is that what that means? That only the GM would get?
I think that's what they're thinking or having the guild there would mean the GM, their guys would level faster because the guild is helping or something like that.
Right.
I would really think they'd have to rethink garrisons if they wanted to do a guild-wide thing.
Yeah.
But something they could do is maybe, guild perks are unlocked from guild garrison leveling or something like that.
Yeah. And I could see why they have at least some concern, because the one thing would be, hey, help us build up our garrison. Now I'm going to G kick you because we're done with our garrison. So you are now G kicked.
Right.
So,
we're at max level. Get out.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to be a jerk about it, then that's fine. But I don't know.
From what I understand, happens quite frequently with guilds right now. I mean, obviously we don't see that with Convert to Raid, but from what I understand, people invite, and once it's level 25, they kick everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just roll a level 1 alt on any server, and you instantly get spammed with, hey, come join us. You seem like an excellent person to join our guild. I'm like, you don't even know me. What are you talking about? I just get spammed all the time.
That's pretty much true. I mean, especially on Airy Peak, I had a couple of, noobs that I was leveling up so that up to 15, and then I would create, a new co-guild or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And all during that time, nothing but spam for hey, join us right now. No.
I think Angry Orc brings up a good point. If they wanted to do guild garrisons, they should make the GM have to clean up after every guild party.
That'd be good.
Vacuum and red solo cups and all that stuff.
I think for the CTR guild, that might be a little tough. But on me,
that might have some hair on it.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
To clean up 7 co-guilds worth of trash.
I don't need that. Now, so do you think that when it comes time for garrisons to begin, that this is going to be like the 5.0 dailies? Do you think that this is going to be more like farming, some kind of combination, or what are you guys hoping? What are you guys hoping that garrisons will do for players, I guess, for both, in-game play, and then also what are the rewards going to be? Do we know that yet? Go ahead, Colt.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it just for the offline progression, and it's just something else to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's something else that's kind of cool that you can kind of set up. I mean, I'm a huge fan of that I can wake up, say, hey, work the mines, and then I go to work. And actually, that's pretty terrible. Telling people to go work the mines while I relax, and then come home and collect all the bounty. That's not very kind.
While you relax with a beverage?
That's right. Well, it's possible. There's no confirmed reports, but
actually, I think there are lots of confirmed reports. Right
what?
Now.
What? We're gonna get blocked again by Norton
lots of
for alcohol abuse. Yeah, for those that don't know, there were a couple of shows ago where I mentioned spicy water. Well, apparently Norton, the antivirus software, thought we were like an alcohol website, so they like blocked us.
Yeah, that's not
so. No more discussion of spicy water. Get blocked by Norton.
Dairies, to get back on track, get us back on track, please.
I like the idea of garrisons, but I worry that it's going to be something that I have to log in and devote a good amount of time to do when I could be doing, leveling or doing dailies or raiding or something like that. I worry about having to micromanage my followers and making sure that I've got all the right ones with all the right gear and swapping things around, and then possibly having another farm to deal with and all that stuff. That's what I worry about is no more 5.0 dailies, but you spend the same amount of time micromanaging your garrison every day.
Yeah, and it sounded like some of the rewards were going to be something that raiders were really going to be after. I mean, like a bonus to stats or something like that.
Yeah, they had like a bonus to crit or something like that.
Even without that, just the fact that I could possibly be getting gear faster means I have to do this as a raider.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's one more thing to min-max.
If I'm sitting there and micromanaging it for hours on every day, it's going to get frustrating.
But if this replaces dailies, or is like something that is kind of daily-ish, that wouldn't be so terrible, right? I mean, that wouldn't be like the worst thing. I mean, we all survived 5.0, right?
Is it going to be diverse enough though? If it replaces dairies, if it replaces me,
yeah.
No.
If it replaces dailies, but it's only all right, go in, make sure your followers are all outfitted, then go deal with your farm, and that's it. But it takes you an hour and a half to do all of that. Is that going to be any more fun than going and killing a bunch of mobs for an hour and a half? Not really.
Right. I mean, I do have my "I survived the dailies of 5.0" T-shirt. I do have that. But that's true. I wonder if now the new phrase is gonna be like, well, I got to do my garrison. Oh, geez, more garrisons. You know what I mean? What if that word garrison replaces dailies?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
It wasn't the fact that we were, doing dailies, is that they were long and repetitive and boring, and it was the same thing over and over again. If that's what garrisons are, just in a different perspective.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing that makes it different for me is the offline progression. In a way that they could I could set them up and then they go and then they do it. I also like to, if I'm, a lot of us, with our professions, if you're like a raider or something like that, and you're looking to min-max, you'll do something like, blacksmithing and jewel crafting or something like that, or blacksmithing and engineering, and you won't do a gathering profession. Right. So usually you have an alt to do your gathering so you get your ore. Otherwise, you'll buy all the stuff and run out of money. So I like in these garrisons, I can have a mine. I can be like, all right, go do that for me so I can still keep my blacksmithing and jewel crafting up or engineering. And my little dudes can do my mining for me.
Yeah.
Like I kind of dig that as kind of a way to, help with all the alts and the different professions.
Yeah, and that's where I think it could really come in handy is hey, you mean I don't have to gather like all the stuff anymore to make sure that I can make stuff? Great. Perfect. I'll do that. So yeah, I don't know exactly where we should leave this. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where we're just going to have to see how this develops as they move it along. Yep. But it's definitely interesting, and I'm glad they came out with some clarification as to why they said it's not going to be a guild thing right away anyway. But they did leave some room so that there could be multiplayer progression or multiplayer things to do, and maybe build on that. So I don't know.
The thing that really needs to be in, and I don't know if they've mentioned this or not, is the fact is just that if I level my garrison and do everything on my garrison on my priest, it carries over to my druid and my shaman and all that other stuff that I don't have to do all of that on every tune.
Oh, like account-bound garrisons?
Yeah, because that's going to be a big problem. If I've got 3 raiding alts and I need to maintain 3 sets of garrisons, then I'm just back to doing dailies again.
I think that they said that was not going to happen.
Oh,
I think. But they're still developing. So, I mean,
I want dailies back.
Give me dailies.
Give me some dailies, man.
This is pandemonium. What is happening here?
I want 75 dailies a day.
That's right. That's insane. Yeah, but but that's a good point, because on your alts, you were having to do dailies on all of the characters.
Yeah.
Because you need to get the max Valor and cap out on Valor each time for each alt.
Yeah.
What's better? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Garrisons. I think this is kind of a cool Blizzard's answer to player housing. And as a more casual type player, I dig the offline progression of it. Although I can see where you're coming from, Dairies, with as far as min-maxing, and for like a hardcore heroic level raider, is this something that you're going to have to keep up along with all of your alts? Not only are you going to level them up and get them geared up, now you got to get your garrison going as well. It's like another thing. So I can see that perspective as well. So I guess we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll release more info as we go along, and we'll see what's shaking. Bacon.
Exactly. Bacon. Everybody loves bacon.
I'm
All right.
hungry now.
Speaking of bacon, let's talk about armor changes. What?
Woo!
Nice segue.
Great
All
segue.
We also got a little bit more clarification on what's going to be happening with armor from the only Ghost Crawler, Greg Street.
Oh yeah.
So, and what he basically said was a few things, and this is all from his Twitter account, right? He said that jewelry, etc., likely won't ever have primary stats. They may have attack power, but it's going to be mostly secondary stats. Only the main armor pieces, head, legs, chest, etc., will swap primary stats. So tier sets and stuff like that. No spirit on your plate. That's going to be on jewelry and cloaks and blah, blah, blah.
Not just plate. No spirit on plate or leather or cloth or mail. Like no spirit on anything that is specific to an armor type.
Well, then you talk about spirit then.
That's what I was just saying. Like, that's a big clarification. All of your spirit is going to come from trinkets, rings, weapons, things that don't require an armor type, which is it's a big change.
Right. And I actually asked Greg if that was going to be true, if gems were going to have like a spirit option, even though we're paring down on gems and we're paring down on enchants as well. And so I said, so are we going to see spirit options actually happen for gems and enchants? And he said for gems, yeah, there'll be spirit options for gems, but they're still kind of working on enchants, on how that'll work. So
that's a big change, man.
I know.
Yeah.
That's insane. Anyone else read that? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So there's no spirit on any armor whatsoever. So if I switch my monk from, I'm not going to say it, don't worry. If I switch it from Windwalker.
I was moving over to try to hit the button.
Feel you getting ready, Walkfoo.
Walkfoo.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
So if I switch, if I've got like leather shoulders and I'm on my Windwalker and it looks awesome, and then I switch my spec. So now these leather agility DPS melee shoulders switch now to Mistweaver Healy shoulders. You're telling me they will not have spirit on them?
They will not have spirit on them. So
that's crazy.
The agility will change to intellect, but no spirit.
Right. So your spirit's going to come from rings, cloaks, gems. What else?
They said rings, necks, trinkets, cloaks, and weapons.
Weapons.
I mean, that's still a pretty good amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes this hard is we don't know how spirit is going to affect everything else. Is that going to be enough? I mean, I would assume it would be, but it's hard to know now. When MOP first hit, you wanted spirit on absolutely everything. You wanted to get more than you could actually get on your gear.
Right.
But is this going to be enough? And is it going to be enough to customize? Am I going to have spirit on all of these things?
Exactly.
Or if my weapon doesn't have spirit, do I now have not enough to actually get by? Or if I have too much, what are my options there? Are all the other rings going to be hit rings or something like that?
Well, they're not going to be hit rings because hit's going away.
But I'm just saying, as a healer, am I going to have to take spirit trinkets and there's no other option? All the other ones are DPS trinkets or something like that. That's what worries me.
are you going to have to gem spirit now on everything because you won't have enough spirit?
But that's always the concern, you know? And with fewer gem slots, at least you won't be able to say, well, I need to gem everything, like all, 17 gem slots. Now you'll be able to say, well, it's only 5 gem slots at least.
Yeah, but like you have to maybe, now look, we don't know how much spirit you're going to need or what's going to be required, but it kind of gets rid of that option of like, well, I'm a healer. I don't have any spirit on my armor. So I've got some gem slots here. I have to gem spirit because, well, I need the mana regen. I need that spirit. Does that take away that element of choice? That in your 5 slots, you now have to gem spirit?
Well, I don't know. Because it's going to be a little weird, right? This is kind of a new world. A new world for armor. And where we're going to see rings with haste or crit or maybe like spell power or something like that. But it's so you're going to have to switch out your gear based on what you need. So you're still going to have to switch out your gear, but you're not going to have to switch your main pieces. Your main pieces will be fine. It's just everything else.
There's so many unanswered questions that until we can actually get and play with this stuff, we're not going to know.
And with no,
well, I want to yell now. I want to yell right now.
Do we have to play the bid again? Do we have to play the PSA?
Yeah, we might.
Exactly. Well, it's interesting. Edius Knight in the chat room just said they probably might have more active mana regen options than having to only rely on spirit. And that's true. That could be another thing that they're going to have, with your class or whatever. So
all of those things worry me, though, because if you look at, say, a disc priest, at the beginning of MOP, I was trying to get, 13, 14K spirit on my disc priest, when now I am trying to get as little spirit as possible, 8K, 9K at most. But there's so much spirit on all the gear now because the items are so... The numbers are so big that that's hard to do, reforging out of spirit, not putting in any gems or anything like that.
Well, and there's no reforge in 6.0 either, so you don't you can't fiddle with that. You can't fine tune that.
So that's my worry, is that we'll get to a point where spirit isn't as needed, but in order to not have that much spirit, I now have to take DPS rings or trinkets or something like that. And that's what worries me.
Well, and maybe
what's going on?
Maybe one of the things that we'll see, and hopefully this is the case, where we'll start seeing like a lot more spirit rings and so forth, like dropping right away in those first dungeons and raids to make sure that we can cover everybody, right? So.
So you've played a healer. You know that the gear you need as a healer at the beginning never drops. So don't count on that.
It never drops. But hopefully they would do more spirit stuff at the beginning of the expansion and less at the end. You know what I mean? So
that would be great if they could do that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, one thing that is really nice to hear is that at one point Disc's priests actually did struggle. So that is nice to hear.
We did that. No,
things
it's
were
relative.
difficult. At one point,
other disc priests we were struggling, but compared to other healers, no. We left them in the dust.
Right. Oh, that's
Long
wonderful.
They really kind of did. They really kind of did.
But so then we run into the issue where if we need spirit on everything and we need jamming spirit and all that kind of stuff, but mastery happens to be a good stat, how do I make that sacrifice? If how do I get more mastery on my gear if I can't reforge and I have to have spirit and everything? And it's the lack of customization really, really worries me.
Well, and I know that we're talking about healer concerns right now, but this does go for anybody that's playing a support class, really. And with this clarification on the itemization of these different things, it could be a concern if you really need to stack crit. This could be something that you need to pay attention to as well.
But didn't they say that secondary stats aren't going to play as big of a role in Warlords?
You can't say that, though, because they're going to play a role, and even if it's a 1% role, that's going to matter.
Yeah, that's true.
And
anyone that comes to min-max.
Well, and it's like, what's going to happen. Some dude on some website somewhere is going to min-max everything and tell you exactly how to play, and that's how 95% of the people are going to play it.
Yes.
That's because that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And I'm glad I'm not that guy. I just reap the benefits of his brains. I love that.
I just go to the site and say, okay, let's do it. Come on, Mr. Robot. Let's get this thing done.
Right.
or whoever. It doesn't matter. Oh,
I love your brains.
I have so many questions I need answered.
Yeah. Then there are a lot of questions. I mean, this does open up quite a few questions as far as how it's going to all be developed. And we're sorry. If you need help, remember 1-800 call me F down is still available for you. So,
Operators are standing by.
That's right. All right,
Did you see that on the official Facebook World of Warcraft page? They posted our bit about that.
I couldn't believe that. I know. I
saw
totally geeked out, man. I was like, oh my gosh.
I saw that.
That was crazy.
So did a lot of other people, apparently.
Yeah. As the kids say, it was cray cray.
Yeah.
Is that what they say now? They say cray cray. Am I right about that?
I think that was
Cray cray. Is that right? Cray cray. No.
No. I think
no. It's not bidet day. No, that doesn't make sense.
Are you asking for clarification from Mr. Magoops?
Yeah, Mr. Magoops. He just left me a little gift in the litter box again.
Oh, Mr. Magoops.
That is cray cray.
He's got his ear to the ground. He's in touch with the kids these days.
That's right.
He's on the case. He's
always on the case.
That's right. All right, maybe we should move it along to what they're doing for patch 5.4.2 on the PTR. What's going on?
What?
We got a new patch coming at some point. At some point. But it seems like they're doing they're like testing out some of the new systems that they're trying for 6.0. Like they've got cross-server mail, so you can send heirlooms to other people.
That's big.
Until they get the actual mechanic in there where it'll just be automatic. So now you can do that, which is cool. It's very cool.
It's only your account though.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah.
Right. It's only your account.
But that saves, $50 every time I want to transfer an heirloom. I forgot.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many times have we transferred? You log on every alt and I gotta check the bank. Is the heirloom in here? Like, where the heck did I put that thing? Oh well, I might need this. I might need this 20 copper ore, so I'll take this with me, and I'm gonna take this too.
Yeah.
This is something that players have wanted for years.
Yeah.
For a long time. This is a big deal, man.
Yeah, it really is. And I remember when I first transferred over to Airy Peak, I did the thing. I logged into every single tune and I went, okay, do I have heirlooms on this dude or is it another dude? And which one's gonna? Oh God! And then you got to figure out which heirlooms you want to bring with you, and what all the other stuff in your bags and all that kind of. But
it's also something too, like let's say you've got an engineer on another server. Well, now you can mail like a sky golem mount or gold, or if you're a blacksmith over here,
it's only bind on account stuff.
Yep.
Guys, you can't mail gold. I'm sorry. No, I don't know if you were aware of that.
You can't mail gold yet.
No, you cannot do that.
No.
Which is actually good because that's probably bad for the old, gold seller people.
Right.
Right. We don't want to put them out of business.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Speaking of which, they also did some in-game store stuff. They're testing that stuff out on the PTR, and that's.
I feel like we've heard this before, and it went nowhere. So
let's
see.
I mean,
it's in the game now.
It doesn't do anything.
Well, yes, but it's there.
They've updated it for Western currencies.
Oh,
if that means anything.
I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're building on all this stuff. They're building on it.
What the change is they changed kind of the UI and how it looks.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think people are confused about, and including me, does this mean that the in-game store is coming in 5.4.2? Or is this just like a UI change?
I think
in the new patch?
I think this is more of a test, but we'll see. We'll see exactly what this is all about. I mean, right now they have the I believe it's those flasks, the XP flasks and stuff like that, available as like a test item that they're checking out. And I believe that's only in Asian markets that you can test that on. So there. So there. That's not the big stuff though. The big thing that I wanted to chat about was the group finder. Do you guys remember this tool?
Oh yeah. Back in the day.
Did you ever use this tool?
I think my character is probably still queued for like Karazhan in there, and I've just never taken him out of the looking for Karazhan group.
Right. Well, I mean, if you guys, where the hell is it even? It's like in some backwoods button thing, you can get to it, and then you go, yeah, I'm a DPS. Great.
Right.
Great. And nobody cares. And now they've updated it for cross realm for patch 5.4.2 as they get closer to 6.0. But
they did say that, they're trying to bring this back. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, I remember when it first launched and it was like, what the heck is going on? I think it was in was it Wrath of the Lich King, I think, is when this first came out, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe so.
But, I mean, I'm glad they're bringing it back. This is kind of answers that need that Open Raid has been doing. You know what I mean? Open Raid has become very, very popular, and it's doing exactly what this is supposed to do.
Yeah.
But no one uses it. So this is a good thing that they're bringing it into the game.
Well, the one that's in the PTR right now is just it's basically just cross-realm update to the tool. They haven't added their new tool in, and they're not going to until 6.0, they said.
Right.
So this is just making that useless feature slightly less useless, but still pretty useless.
Still really, really useless.
Yeah.
Yes. It's poo.
Yeah, it is?
It's poo.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's taking something crappy and making it less crappy, but it's still crappy.
It's still poo. Right, exactly.
So the hope for what they are trying to build is going to be something better, cleaner than OQ or what's the other one?
Open Raid.
Open Raid. Right. So now, what do you think? Is there any particular hope that you guys are really, hoping that this will do? What it'll look like? What it'll be like? What do you think it needs to be for 6.0 when that finally is unveiled?
I think just take the current tool they have and do the exact opposite, and we should be okay.
Right.
I think
it makes a lot of sense.
Just combining, because OQ does a good job in game, and Open Raid does a really good job out of game. If they can combine the two into a great system, to get people doing this content. And this tool I think is going to be necessary for a lot of guilds to survive. Doing normals and heroics with flex, or finding that 10th person or something like that. This is going to be huge for finding a pug instead of going to trade chat and hoping, or on dead servers and hoping someone's there or something like that. This tool is massive for that if it works correctly.
What I envision, what I would love it to be, is exactly what, in a way, Open Raid is now. In that, there is a post that says Karazhan Transmog Run, on Wednesday. Sign up here. Like, there's people that want to do different things in the game. Like, Firelords Run or Firelands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Firelands, excuse me. So I want to have, you click on it, and then there's all these boxes with all these different raids that people have set up, and they're labeled. You know what I mean? And also, one thing I love about Open Raid is that you can rate players, and that's a big, big deal. And here's why. If somebody is just a jerk and just wants to wipe the raid, or is really rude or, inappropriate, you can downrate them. In other words, what happens is it encourages good behavior, because if somebody's downrated, then they're not going to be invited to another raid. They'll see their rating. So, I mean, it could be grief where players could be like, all right, we're going to downrate Zug. Even though you could be the nicest fella in the world, they're still going to downrate you.
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
What?
But I like this idea of maybe there's different windows and boxes telling you what these raids are going to be. You can find what you like, but I like that there's kind of this rating system that encourages good behavior and not bad behavior. It kind of takes away the anonymousness of LFR. You know what I mean?
Right.
That you have to, be a normal person. You can't just be a big jerk. So I hope there's something like that.
Then I don't like this system if it's
I know, because you are a big jerk.
I am. I don't like it already.
Yeah. Your nickname is Wipeosaurus.
Yeah.
You're here to wipe the raid.
Yeah, that's me.
That's what I'd like, man. I like seeing old raids listed. Oh, Karazhan, yeah, that'd be fun. Wednesday night, yeah, I can make that. I'll sign up for that. That'd be fun.
I'm just wondering if it's going to be like a hey, we're going to do that on Wednesday night, or if it's going to be, hey, we're doing that right now. You know what I mean? If it's going to be something that you can plan for, or something that maybe. I'm just kind of always curious about exactly how it's going to run down, because it never runs down like the add-on, right? And they're basically taking the add-ons and they're putting them into game. And so it's never quite the same, and it's always kind of like trying to be fair to both parties, which I get, but at some point you got to say, you know what? No, screw both parties. We got to talk about the raid leader here, or we got to talk about, whatever it is. I don't know what. But
yeah, Blizzard incorporated like weak auras or power auras was really big, and then Blizzard kind of incorporated their own kind of power auras, around your character when you get certain procs. But people still use, weak auras now. I mean, I don't think anyone really uses power auras anymore, but so people still use it. So
I think
I don't know, man.
I think I still have that add-on, power auras.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened to it. Did it just go away and miss?
I don't think they've been developing it for a while.
No.
I used to be like so great. Now weak auras, I don't know what the heck's going on. It's all crazy. So I just import strings.
Yeah.
I let other people's brains do the work.
I just import strings and that's all I do.
That's right. I say thank you for your brains. I'm going to use these strings.
Thank you for your brains. All right. Now let's move it along to WoW Progress. WoWProgress.com. They've done a bunch of things over Mists of Pandaria. They've included finally a split between 10 and 25 man rating, which is going to go away for Warlords for WoD. But it's still a thing. And now they are also including speed kills. So they have speed kill rankings for everything.
Woo!
Right, Dairies?
My question is why? I don't get what this accomplishes. I mean,
why not?
Maybe just trying to use all the data they have or whatever, but I mean, that just seems a little silly. Because it doesn't matter at all how fast you kill a boss. It's not going to change your world ranking. It's not going to make you a better raid team. What?
Why wouldn't it make you better? Why wouldn't it make it? Because then this way, everybody gets the feels, right? I mean, you got the world first guys. They have their own list, and then you have the speed kill guys, and those guys have their own list. And then you could say, well, yeah, you may have done it first, but we did it faster.
Boom. Yeah,
it's something else to fight for.
That's already included in the world first rankings. If Method goes and kills Garrosh first, but everything else second or third or fourth, they get the world first kill of Garrosh, but they don't end up number one in the world. So the speed run stuff is just
that's speed. That's speed over progression. That's not speed from boss to boss.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, the speed from boss to boss stat, I think it's just
it's
silly.
Awesome. It's totally awesome. What are you talking about?
Boom goes the eggplant. Yes.
It's ridiculous. And the fact that it can't track you past Siegecrafter means it's completely broken. So it's dumb.
Well, I mean,
because
it's just getting started.
They can't track Paragons and Garrosh speed kills. So the whole thing's silly.
Is it because of the RNG, or why can't they?
No, it's because, it's actually Blizzard's fault in that the BattleNet API, the Armory API, doesn't correctly report Paragon's kills yet. So
wow,
right,
Dairies, I love your brains. You've got some nice brains.
Dairies, thank you for your brains.
Thank you for your brains.
You bring some class to this show.
You do.
And then Colt and I just ruin it.
That's right.
That's our job. So this speed kill, just to kind of inform everybody if you haven't looked at it or anything like that, but it goes from boss to boss. So it's as soon as the one boss is killed, it checks your time between that time and the time the next boss is killed. So you have to go through all the trash and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, so if you want to go for the fastest kill, WoW Progress has got you covered.
I dig it. It's something new to do. Why not? You kill these bosses over and over. Let's just give it a go.
Well, do you think that we're going to see speed kill strat videos now? Is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be
No.
The next
Because it's
thing?
not even a speed kill of the boss. It's the speed kill of the boss, including all of the RP and the trash beforehand and everything, because you can't track just via a website and the armory how fast the boss actually died. This whole thing is silly.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Good
And of
times, baby.
Are there
Of course, you can't track a Mercius either because they have no way of knowing when you first entered the instance.
Are there-
So you've got 14 bosses, 3 of which you can't keep stats on. You'd get rid of this feature.
are there challenge mode videos out there? Challenge mode?
Yeah,
videos?
probably.
Yeah, so there's
But that's
probably going to be
different.
speed kill stuff too, right?
That's different. Challenge modes are designed to be run the fastest possible.
Boom goes the toaster.
I don't know. Colt, what do you think? Are there going to be vids? Are we going to see some speed kill vids come out?
I think we've talked about this far too long.
Thank you.
All right, fine. Then we'll move it on to something that we actually talked about before in this show, and it was kind of weird that it kind of came up. There's been some stuff happening at Karazhan.
Woo!
What's going on?
It's getting cleaned up, baby.
You know how I said I was moving?
Yeah.
I'm actually moving into Karazhan. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
so
Awesome.
I cleaned it up a little bit. I got rid of some of the cobwebs and skeletons and things like that. So,
Right on.
Right
on.
That's pretty much all it is, though. It's kind of weird. It's like, well, they removed some cobwebs. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa!
And-
Holy cow.
They removed some of the just strange RP stuff. Like there's on one of the beds, there's two characters with a rose in between them, and the characters passed away, so it's their skeleton. Like things like that are gone for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing in there, but
So
That was really cool, by the way.
are
I
they
don't know why they got rid of that.
are they reworking this for WAD? What
Don't call it WAD. Please.
What? You
I don't want
started
this
it.
to catch on. I said warlords.
No, you said what before BlizzCon, you said WAD.
Well, but that was before.
I
Now
think-
I realized the error of my ways.
I think this is going to have an impact on Warlocks of Draenor. So
right.
That's right.
I think this will probably be part of the launch event, and I think Medieval will play a pretty big
launch
role.
event. Launch event. What do
That
you
is-
Colt, what do you think?
I mean, this could be part of heading into warlords, maybe. I mean, what are they doing here? I mean, Karazhan is like one of those famous raids that everybody, Karazhan, it was the greatest. Everyone loves themselves some Karazhan.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of, they're removing spider webs, but they're not but anyway, they're doing something to it. So something's going down.
Or,
So, I don't know, maybe.
Are we meant to think, because Blizzard knows we're going to data mine all this stuff and play it on the PTR, are we meant to think that somebody is cleaning it up? That someone is, moving back
somebody
to Karazhan?
somebody new is coming to Karazhan, is that it?
Yeah.
That's some RP data mining. Wow.
So it's true, you are moving to Karazhan.
Right.
Yeah, I am.
Uh,
I'm actually Medieval, and I'm moving in.
I sent a cleaning crew over there just to get ready.
Super quick, lore question here, and I don't know if anyone knows this, but isn't that where Mediv is, or the tower, or there's something to do with Khadgar and Mediv there, right?
Yeah,
And lore people are screaming at me right now, but
he's
on.
kind of the only person that, looking back, I mean, there may be a couple people, but he's like the prime suspect right now for being able to send Garrosh back in time.
Oh, yeah, right.
So,
He'd be the guy. Oh, it's Mediv's tower, Medivh's. So, I
Yeah.
guess he has something to do with that place. I mean, holy cow. Right.
Right.
So, he would be the guy. Spoiler alert.
Well, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe. I mean, they could change it. I mean, if we're going back in time, to whatever for warlords, I'll say it right this time. Koltrane, jerk.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So if we go back in time, maybe this is something. I don't know. It's kind of weird though. Wasn't there something about Karazhan being kind of locked in time as well, or
Yeah,
being
that's why all this stuff's starting to make sense lore wise.
Right.
It's all. This is where it would happen if it was to happen and you were to use.
So this might be
current
like a
lore.
transformation of, hey, this happened over in Old Draenor, so of course Azeroth, this is the one change that happens in Azeroth, or something along those lines. I don't know.
Wait a minute. You're telling me this is all going down in Karazhan?
It
Well,
might.
maybe that's where it starts.
What?
Maybe that's where it starts.
That could be amazing.
I know.
They basically picked the furthest spot from any horde city, meaning,
Right.
when you want to fly there as a horde,
I got
you've got a long flight ahead of you.
I got it. Remember how they said the Alliance was going to discover this and they were going to go through the portal and they were going to do all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. Maybe this is the catalyst for how the Alliance find out about it and how they move into Old Draenor or Draenor. Either way.
Yeah.
Warlords.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't
Well, no, that's true.
Go ahead.
They're saying, because I believe Medivh used to be one of the Guardians. He was like a Guardian at one point, I thought.
Yeah,
Well, there's a book called The Last Guardian, and it's actually true about Medivh and Karazhan and Khadgar. Like, Khadgar is Medivh's apprentice. And I actually, what's terrible is I actually read this book, but it was like, years ago.
right.
I don't have the brains to remember it, unfortunately. But that's a cool place, man. If they're doing something with this, everybody loves Karazhan. That could be cool, man.
Yeah.
That's where it's all going down.
And
That's cool.
Everybody does love Karazhan, right? I mean, I don't know of anybody that really hates it. I mean, they might hate certain things about it, like the chess event or something like that. But I don't know if there's anybody that goes to Karazhan and goes, "Oh, I hate this place. This place is awful."
It's one of their pinnacles of rating. The environments are amazing. The RP in there and the lore is amazing. I mean, they really nailed it on that one.
The Opera House.
Yeah, they really did. They really did an amazing job.
The Opera House was kind of cool, kind of weird, but kind of cool.
It was awesome. And then who was that guy who was like, "The doors are closed. Please enjoy the music." What was his name? He was like a boss. He was the guy with a really cool voice.
I can't remember.
He was like, "Thank you for coming to Karazhan. Enjoy a nice beverage." Who was that guy? Come on, chat room. Help me out.
Enjoy
The conservator.
He was a robot.
Conservator?
Yeah.
I think it was the conservator.
No, that's
conservator.
Curator.
Right.
There we go. Thank
I don't
you,
know why
chat
I
room.
made that word up.
Thank you, chat room. Not the conservator.
It's about
It's a guy who
I
saves
can't
money.
Words are hard.
well, whatever. It's all
It's a
good.
guy who saved 15% on his car insurance. That's the conservator.
I would fight him.
Ridiculous.
Just to get rid of the commercials.
I don't know. All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps up the news anyway. We've got some questions to get to, and we'll get to them in a moment. But first, we have another wonderful classic Pilgrims Bounty bit for you guys. Whoop. So here it is.
Whoa, Zug. We have to cook?
Well, it's part of the whole experience, Get your skills going.
I have plenty of skills to pay the bills, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, come on.
Koltrane doesn't cook unless it's asparagus. Yeah.
Fine, I'll cook, you big baby. It'll be good for achievements.
Ooh, I gotta admit, that smells pretty good. Can I have some of those potatoes?
I guess. I mean, I don't have to turn in all of these, but...
Yeah, some cranberries. Need those. Give me some of that turkey time.
Hey,
Gravy.
take it easy, buddy.
Back off, Zug.
What are you...
Oh, the stuffing.
Come on!
Pumpkin pie.
Why are you in all my...
OMG, baby! That's the good stuff.
Get out of there! I need to turn stuff in! Come on, get up! Finally!
Whew, I am stuffed.
Colt, I think it's about time that you washed your pants.
You may be right about that one.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's bad. Oh, it's bad.
We've got mail.
We do, and if you have a question about anything, sorry. If you have a question about anything for us about rating or anything else, you can always let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com or call our raid line at 612-787-RAID. Or you can join us during the live show and try to PM one of the guys. We'll see if we can get to it. And we've got a few here. Yeah. I like those bits. I like those bits. Come on.
I was eating. People were wondering in the chat room what the heck I was doing. I was eating and then farting.
Right. Exactly.
That's what happens.
Exactly.
Got to get out somehow, people. That's terrible. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Koltrane, you want to take this first question for us, please?
Sure. It says, hello, this is Kevon from Zul'jin. My question is about the WAD, the Warlord's Hunter talent.
WAD.
Yes. I'm curious about the WAD Hunter talent, Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
The hunter community seems split on this new talent. As for myself, I have never enjoyed playing a pet class because managing a pet never appealed to me. But now I would strongly consider playing a lone wolf hunter, even as my main character. In your opinion, would class changes similar to this enhance gameplay/enjoyment or blur what our classes are meant to be? Keep up the good work and remember, everything in moderation, even spicy water. What? Oh my God.
There you go. Thank you, Kevon. So Darius, what do you think about what is the lone wolf talent?
If I remember, that's the talent where you are doing most of the damage. You're not using a pet. Now a Beastmaster hunter, most of your damage comes from your pet. And you're not going to be doing that anymore. Right. But I think the thing to remember here is all of the talents that they showed at BlizzCon are just like alpha talents. They're gonna change quite a bit. This might not even be in the game, but to play a hunter without a pet, I think takes away from what a hunter is. And I think it does what the writer says. I think it blurs what classes are meant to be. I don't like the idea of doing something like that, of taking pets away from hunters when that's what they are. Or
sure,
well, it'd be like taking chi away from a monk because people don't like chi. I don't think they should do that. I think if you want to play that, play a different class.
Well, and I do think that there have been some problems with pet pathing and stuff like that, and we've seen that. Like Sinestra was kind of one of those fights, I believe, where pet pathing was a problem, like a real problem. It was not cool because of the way that it was constructed around that pool, right? So it was always kind of a little strange, and there have been some other instances as well where it may not have worked out very well, or been glitchy or something like that. So for things like that, where pet pathing is an issue, this talent could be really great. But
I think they've fixed a lot of those though, and they've done a really good job fixing up those kind of things. That was a while ago.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying. It does change up the class quite a bit. But I think in raiding environments, that may not necessarily be a bad thing. I don't know. Colt, where do you land on this?
Well, first off, I don't know if the community is aware of this, but the hunter can do their entire rotation on the move. And I'm a little upset about that. So I don't know what they're complaining about. They can do every ability on the move.
Well,
everything. Their entire rotation on the move.
Well, apparently they're changing that around too. So there's also like one shot or something like that.
Well, it's like, what the heck? Glyph it. I just don't look. My point is this: hunters, come on, you guys got it so good, and you have no idea how good you've got it. I picked up an 82 hunter, and I was like running around, and I'm like, and then I was talking to Wyatt Orc, and I'm like, so what do I do? He's like, well, you do this. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I can do all this on the move? He's like, yeah. Like it was no big deal. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because as a mage, I'm a turret. Anyway, I know this is a bit of a rant, but I've been wanting to get this out for a while. As hunters,
I think you've talked about this before, man.
This is the third time we've mentioned it.
They should not be complaining. Hunters have no right to complain about anything, because they could do their entire rotation on the move, and that's not fair. They should never die to raid mechanics ever.
And now they might not even need a pet.
Yes, exactly. So look, I get it, man. Believe it or not, I know what you're saying, that a hunter is meant to be a pet class. But some people like playing a hunter because you can do your entire rotation on the move. No, but like there are people that don't like having to manage that pet. People don't like BM. Now, this is not all hunters, but this is just what I've heard. I don't play a hunter.
Right.
But they're like, oh, there's so much pet management and there's so much going on, and some people don't like playing Frost Mage because, well, you got a pet, and I'm a mage and I have a pet, So, I mean, I agree. I mean, I hate to say it. I do agree with Dairies that they are a pet class.
I hate to admit it, but I do agree with Dairies.
They are a pet class. That's one of the first things you do is you're managing your pet from like level, what is it, 9? You get now you get it at level 1.
Yeah, you get it at level 1 now.
Yeah, all throughout your career, and now at level 100, you don't have to. It does seem a little odd.
Yeah.
So, I agree. I have to agree with Dairies.
Oh, so sad. So sad that you have to do that. So very sad. I believe it. You get your pet at 1, but you can't control it until level 10. So
that's right. So they are lone wolves from 1 to 10. I don't know what the big deal is.
I think it could be kind of cool, especially for raiding stuff. I mean, obviously, if you're out in the world, you're gonna want a tank of some sort. So having a pet is going to be more beneficial. But I mean, for raiding, you don't really need a pet. And if there's like,
they bring the buffs though, which is good.
That's true.
You know,
that's true.
For like, I mean, that's kind of changing now with Flex.
Yeah, exactly. Now that we have Flex and 20-man Mythic and all that kind of stuff, we don't have to worry about buffs anymore.
Right.
So maybe.
And what we're talking about, for those that don't know, hunter pets can bring like a haste buff to the raid or a crit buff. Like, so if you're in a 10-man and you don't have that particular buff, then a hunter can bring out a particular pet. Like on our 10-man Asparagus Initiative, we didn't have haste, but Wyatt brought out his Spore Bat, and that gave haste. So that's what we're talking about there.
Right. And by the way, Dairies, I see that you have a friend with you on your keyboard.
Yeah, I've called my pet.
What buff does that bring for you? Your cat?
It brings cuteness.
Oh,
it's a new buff.
It's a plus 120 to cuteness.
It's totally cuteness.
Aww. Anyway, let's move it along to the next question. And Darius, you wanna grab this one for us, please?
This is from Galleon and Mocknathal. Yeah, Mocknathal. God, that's awful.
That's a mouthful.
It says, greetings, Pat, Colt, and Dairies. With the talk of new gear changes in Warlords and more people being able to roll on more gear, I fear that this is going to lead to a lot of loot drama for many guilds. I was an officer in a semi-serious raiding guild in Wrath, and my guild was no different than most and had its fair share of drama over loot. My guild used DKP to handle loot distribution, and I thought it was a pain to manage, cumbersome, and not friendly to new recruits. Loot Council seems to be very prone to favoritism and begging, and /roll is too RNG. It doesn't reward people who have put in time downing bosses week to week. What I suggest my guild use, though we didn't, was a Suicide King system. It seemed fair, simple to understand and use, and required no real management. My question is, with more competition for loot in Warlords, what systems do you guys think will help manage loot distribution the best?
All right, so we're talking about loot, Colt. Koltrane, you love the loot. So
all about the loot.
And he's got some points here. You know, it's definitely one of those things where we're going to have to manage this probably a little bit more. We're going to have larger groups. We're not going to just be able to, as we're not necessarily going to have just a 10-man system anymore. And this can change week to week as well. For people that are running normals or heroics anyway, this group composition could change a lot. So what do you think, as far as loot goes, what we should be doing for Warlords?
Well, I'm actually curious real quick, and I just got to jump in. So here's the big drama, is that now shoulders will drop.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, Healy shoulders drop, and then the healers got to fight over it, or DPS shoulders drop, and then the DPS fight over it. It's just shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's going to cause, so I'm curious, like Dairies, like, how is this going to work? I mean, they're right, and the guy who wrote this letter is right. This is going to cause more, everyone's going to want shoulders now. It's going to cause more drama.
I mean, if you think about it, and if you're thinking about, say we're clearing Siege of Orgrimmar, we've got 14 bosses and 5 pieces of loot per boss, so that's 70 pieces of gear that's going to drop. 70 pieces of gear are going to drop with 25 raiders. If shoulders drop on the first boss, plate shoulders drop on the first boss and someone gets them, there's a pretty good chance plate shoulders are going to drop somewhere else in Siege of Orgrimmar. There's pretty good chance that more than one plate shoulders are going to drop. You're going to get a lot of loot. So there's going to be more competition over those plate shoulders, but there's going to be a lot more plate shoulders to go out because they're not going to be stuck with stats and things like that. So
right.
But you're definitely going to have, especially for those guys that are in 10-mans right now, you're going to have a lot of things to consider, especially if you're a normal raider, because now you're going to have varied group sizes, and you got to try to work out a system that's going to be fair for everybody. I do think that Suicide Kings looks really, actually probably the best moving forward, because it is so difficult to everybody's been in this situation, and I think even now we still go through it, and I know that we've gone through it on our team as well. Is what do we do with loot? And we've never had loot council. We've always just done /roll, and yes, there's a lot of RNG that goes along with that, and some people get screwed out of loot. But we are for the most part nice guys, and we try to make sure that everybody gets kind of an even distribution between ourselves. We are kind of our own loot council, where we say, "Oh, do you need that? Then I won't roll on it because I have something, that's a little bit, it'd be kind of more of a little upgrade for me."
The problem with all of these methods, except /roll, is none of them account for flex. If you're bringing someone in this week to help you out, or they're in for once, and they're not in the Suicide King system, or they don't have the DKP or anything like that.
Right. But I mean, for Suicide Kings, you're rewarding those that come with the group more, right?
But that's not flex though. Flex is jump in and out, or Koltrane can raid 1 week this month or something like that. And if he's not doing that, then he's getting no loot from Suicide Kings. So why would he continue to raid? If it's all about the loot.
It's all about the loot.
It's all about the loot.
And I'm not saying that Suicide Kings is going to be the one thing that's going to stick out with this, but I mean, there's got to be some kind of standard way of operating, right? And you just got to pick it at some point.
I think a /roll system is good, but I think people are assuming that people are almost acting like there's less loot is going to drop or something like that. There's going to be the same amount of loot. There's going to be more of it to go around, in that it's not wasted. So people are going to be gearing up much, much quicker. You're not going to be sharding nearly any gear at all.
Right, that's true.
And all of this will be a moot point 2 weeks into your rating, because people have gotten everything that they need, except that one item that never drops.
Well, and let's hope so. Let's hope that's the case. But when you're in Pugs now, what ends up happening if you're on a /roll system and you don't have that loot system back up, then you have people that come in that maybe on an alt, or maybe slightly under geared or whatever, and then they win all the loot that even like the rest of your team that downs those bosses week after week after week is going for. And when that weapon finally drops, or when that ring finally drops, those big things, and you're like, oh yes, I need to upgrade because I have a 535 ring, and this is a 50 or whatever the hell it is. I can't remember. But it's like a big upgrade all of a sudden for your regular team, and you lose out on it because of the /roll RNG factor.
That's right. Woo!
I think in that case, it just needs to be established ahead of time that this is our system. If something drops that a main raider needs, they're going to win it over you as a pug. That's the way it's always been. Flex or not. If you bring someone in and that's your system, and you say, sorry, if this trinket drops, Epic Medic gets it. If he wins. Wait.
Why does Epic get the thing?
Because he always needs a thing.
It should clearly go to me. Come on.
He always needs a thing.
Couple quick things too. RNG means random number generator. It's when it's just chosen randomly. People are asking in the chat room what RNG means. Another suggestion too, EBGP? EBGP? EBGP?
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Another method that people use.
Points.
Yeah, right. So that's another method. Suicide Kings is something that we've used in the past. It's even got a little add-on that works in World of Warcraft, which is great. But you're bringing up a great point, though, man. As far as with these flex teams, if I come in, using a Suicide King system, I'm at the bottom of the list. I have zero chance of any loot unless nobody needs it, and it would just be sharded. And you're right, and I said sharded. Anyway, but it's an interesting point too. Nothing really will be sharded now. Because shoulders, it won't be like, oh, it's Healy plate and our holy palate. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone will be able to use it. So
loot will always be a problem. There'll always be loot drama. There's nothing you can do about it.
There has never been loot drama ever. What are you talking about?
That's crazy thought.
The situation is just as good or just as bad as it was before any of this. It's always going to be a problem.
Right. Well, I think that's going to have to be the last word on that. because as I see by the giant clock on my computer, it's not really there. It is time for us to wrap this show up. It is. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
A bunch of people have been asking. The loot system for normal and heroic and mythic will continue to be exactly what it is right now for normal and heroic.
Yeah.
LFR will be the only personal loot system.
Correct. So you will be able to switch loot around, and the way that loot is going to drop is that if you have 10 people, you will have 2 pieces of loot. If you have and then for every 5, there will be a guaranteed extra loot, but for every person, there's going to be a plus 20% chance for extra loot. So if you have 14 people, you'll have 2 pieces of loot will drop every time, and then an 80% chance for a third loot to drop.
And there'll be no way to toggle that on and off. You can't go personal loot over, loot distribution or something like that in normal, heroic, and mythic. It's all group loot. There's no alternative.
That's
but
right.
You still will be able to use your coins though, your little jobbies.
Yeah. As long as they continue the coin method, which I hope they do. I mean, it's kind of nice to be able to.
More loot, baby.
Or more
Coins
gold.
are the worst.
Or more gold.
More gold. Less loot. More gold. That's what we need. More 28 gold. Thanks, Blizz. All right,
Thanks, Blizz.
All right, let's get out of here. But before we do, I'll play the music. And we can give a shout out to listeners that recently gave us a 5-star on iTunes. And, hey, Darius, why don't you just take all of these?
Okay. We have Joanna CW1. We have Kitten Cat Bar.
Yeah.
We have Chewbacca 331.
Uh-huh.
We have Craddox. We have Devlin. Devlin. Oh boy.
Devlin.
And Hank Yusuf.
Yeah, there we go. That's
Man, why do I always get the hard ones?
I don't know. Any shout outs this week, guys?
Well, I got a shout out to we're going to have a little giveaway on our show coming up.
Yeah.
We had a Sky Golem mount that was donated to the show by Crispy Bacon.
Yeah.
So we're going to be giving that out away in the future into the show.
Yeah.
And I actually, thanks to Waku, W-A-C-K-U, he actually gave me a Sky Golem. And it is the coolest mount in the entire game, hands down, ever. It's unbelievable.
He just gave it. Just gave it away.
He did. He just, I have to do his answering machine. I have to do his answering machine.
All right.
But other than that, big shout out to Waku and his lovely wife. We really, really appreciate it. And in the future, thanks to Crispy Bacon, we'll be giving out a Sky Golem mount to listeners of the show.
Yeah, sweet. And we'll figure that out for probably next week. I'm guessing something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm going to bail on the music though.
I want to give a shout out to there's someone in my new guild that's been asking for a shout out. His name's Scuzz, and I know he's on vacation and there's no way he'll listen to this show, so I'm going to shout out to him.
Make sure he just does that. Yes, and I bailed out on the music. All right, and I'm going to play let's see which one. I'm going to play this one. There we go.
Ooh, it's one of my faves.
Ooh.
Ritz.
Faves are Ritz.
Everyone seems to abbreviate everything now. Like, I appreciate what you're doing.
They abbreviate everything? Damn.
Yes, they abbreviate everything now.
All right. Well, we cannot do this show without you guys. Thank you so much, by the way, for taking the time to rate us on iTunes. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the questions. We have a lot more questions that we'll get to next time as well. Please feel free to join in on the conversation we're having at any time. You can always email us at convertrate@gmail.com. You can call us and leave comments and questions on our raid line at 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. Or you can follow us on Twitter. Isn't that right, Koltrane?
That's right. You can follow Pat Krane at Pat Krane. You can follow Koltrane at _Koltrane. And you can follow Dairies at Board Mine.
Right. And make sure to join the Bazooba Guaba Nation by going over to converttoraid.com. We are also, the live show, the live video show is also over on gamebreaker.tv.
Woo!
They let us back on. No idea why.
I don't know why, really.
First show is horrible over there.
I don't think they've listened to it yet.
But at least I have the new video open, which you guys can check out over there as well if you haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
And please do, because we're just trying to have some fun, right?
It's epic, baby.
It is epic. It's nice.
is.
Thank you, inspiration at 3 a.m. Thank you very much.
Yes,
for that. All right.
Using unnatural substances.
Yes. But over at our site, over at converttoraid.com, we have show downloads, the audio forum. We have forums, tons of links for raiders, and so much more. That's over at converttoraid.com. And our show is available on Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iTunes, and also along with our friends over at signalsmedia.com. We've got a bunch of friends over there as well. So GameBreaker.tv, signalsmedia.com. Hey, two great tastes that go great together, right? That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for the show. We hope you had a good time, and thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week, Sunday, 11 a.m. Central. For all the guys that convert to raid, bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Xbox turn on.